gonna be a really interesting battle, of course. As we move on, we're gonna make decisions all together, and let's wish the best luck to our man. Okay, so we're gonna defend our position, our flag. I think we can do this. I think we're gonna be covered. The enemy, most of it's gonna be attacking with cavalry. You can already see the mounted tribal auxiliary units, and on the west we're also seeing a lot of cannons. This is gonna be bad news for us because we might be unprotected if they attack us from the rear line. So I think our best move is going to be to move one cavalry unit to the rear line because, yeah, I ignore the fact that they were becoming also from several other lines. So we're going to try to neutralize those cannons from the west and see if we can have a good luck here. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but let's move on. Alright, we're crossing then the west gate. We're gonna try to neutralize those cannons. Although most of the impacts are hitting in this outer structure, so I'm just gonna try to keep it tight for a moment. They're sending some men, some British forces, but I believe we're still gonna be covered. So I'm just gonna hold. Because the cannons are really bad position. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to break our position. They're breaking like apart, but this structure is not a threat to our main entrance. So I'm pretty confident that we can handle that. Most of the cavalry is still trying to come from the other line, so I'm just going to refugee this regiment of horse until we know what the enemy is going to try to do. This section of the wall is probably going to fall, so that's going to be interesting. Many horses are just going by, and of course the only issue that I would see if the enemy try to hit these spots here, that can be an issue. Our cavalry is static. I don't think they're going to try to come in. They're going to try to give that order again. We lost one unit here, so let's come back. Our men are waiting. This is our weakest spot because now we know they have that gap on the northwest side. Yeah, and also we got these small entrances from, like, those are weak spots. I'm also equipped this barracks, just remember, with additional units, so that these men are going to be covering us. If anything goes wrong, we're gonna have our back. But still, it's gonna be a long game to play. Our cavalry is still retreating from this spot. We didn't do much here. I thought the enemy was gonna be pushing a bit harder, but yeah, our structures are falling, and our cavalry are now in the middle of the battle. We're gonna try to do our best. Yeah, these guys didn't care, like, they were just like, just let us out. Decide if you can. Yeah, so, of course, the clock is in our side. We can wait as much as we want. If the enemy does not hit us where I'm expecting, we're gonna be fine. There are some units, some cavalry units hitting from the east. They're really close, within range. They're within within the cave section. We're already firing. We're gonna be back with those units. But I think our barricade's holding up really good. I think we're doing a great job here. Yeah, we can also see the cavalry coming from that spot. Everybody hold on. We're gonna test these barricades and see if this is gonna be enough to hold them down. From the barracks, our men are also starting to fire. So everybody just stay focused. We're gonna see what happened with those spikes. No, they're useless. I think they're just for intimidation. Cavalry has just, like, jumped in front of us. Yeah, definitely not what I was expecting. We cannot still form in square, so that's gonna be interesting. Well, if you make sense, this should have like caused damage to the cavalry, but it seems was not enough. But our men hold up, at least in the center. This is our militia, the guys addressed in green, and of course our line infantry. It's blue, yellow, white. British units are trying to cross the field, and of course they receive fire from both that house and our men that are ready to hold the line. Alright, great job. Great job. So we're gonna still be holding up the line. I think we lost our cavalry back on the west side, but we still got some units waiting for instruction. So I'm just gonna keep them in reserve, at least for the moment. See what happens. Yeah, I can already see more units. I don't see the enemy firing more cannon to the side of the walls. This section was completely destroyed. We're gonna need to fix this after everything happens, but we're still shooting back to the troops that are coming in. This is the second time that we're trying to defend this spot, this position. But I think we're doing a great job. I really like the idea of the trenches, you know, these barricades. Really cool. They're trying to fire against the men that are in the barracks, but it's really hard to aim at these troops. We're doing what we can, but the enemy is suffering. I think we're gonna take a win. I see more cavalry outside of our walls, but our men are still holding up. I'm gonna be checking on the numbers. We don't want the units to go like really low. We're gonna have to be careful with that. Yeah, so I decided eventually to make these live streams here on YouTube. I think we're gonna connect all the content and all the lines of videos in one place. So let's be careful because the enemy is just charging against us once again. Okay, let's keep this tight. Good job, everyone. We hold on once again. The enemy is going to be looking for our flanks. So we're going to prepare that line, at least for this section. I think we lost an entire unit. I'm not sure. We're going to extend the militia line as much as we can. The enemy is going to try to find for the center of for the courtyard. So we're going to use that last horse unit that we have ready. Okay, militia has come to the rescue. We're gonna still need to focus on the center, our defenses. I think we're gonna make it. There's another cavalry unit coming from the north. I think this is the last one. We should be safe if we just stick to the barracks and the houses, but I don't think that's gonna be necessary. I think we won the battle here. No, we're still in the thick of it. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it tight. Wait for the enemies to go away. Yeah, they're doing that. Great job, everyone. Whew. Well, that was something. I guess at least for the moment we can start to prepare for the final charge. That's the general, the commander of this British division. This one is the last. We could always like take refuge inside the barracks and so on, and I think that's gonna be a wise decision. Like, I'm gonna leave the low-ranked troops like well positioned somewhere else, maybe one in the command HQ, and leave the best out in the field. We still got more or less like 210 units of line infantry, so I think we're gonna be fine. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with those cannons, but the enemy is once again starting to attack us from this point. You know. But as I mentioned you, out in that house, I think we're gonna be fine. I think it's time for the cavalry to go out and take those cannons on the west side. But I think the courtyard and the fortress are still pretty much covered. You know? Yeah, luckily the AI is not attacking with too many infantry and just like horsemen and so on. We're still gonna need to be really careful because these guys, I don't know if they have enough range to attack. These are armed citizens, so we're just gonna leave them there. Take things easy. This one's heading towards the... what is this? The command HQ, yeah, I told you that. So I think we're doing fine. I think we're gonna make it. Now, this cavalry unit's gonna make the move that we couldn't do at the beginning of this battle because I'm kind of an idiot, so let's try and just jump ahead. Aim for that field. We captured the building. I think they're talking about the commander, the HQ. So that's really good. I think we're gonna be taking the win. We're just gonna do one last charge. I believe the general is not gonna hold inside the fort. I think they're just waiting in that gap. They're just trying to fire up. I'm gonna position 2 troops. We're gonna start moving on, and we're gonna remove those cannons from our way. I'm not sure if there's any cavalry unit. There might be some. We're gonna need to be really careful. We're also out of ammunition, so we're just going with our swords. But I believe this is going to be the end of this battle. Alright, I think we did it. Yeah. Now let's hit and let's aim for those cannons. These are, I believe, 12-pound pieces. Our infantry is also getting ready to attack the enemy. This is the general, so let's get ready for it. And of course, we're going to be receiving some help from the upper part. So let's go ahead. I trust the cavalry because I don't have any other unit and I don't want to walk my way up here, so I'm just gonna have to be careful. There are some other cavalry units, but I think we have the upper hand, at least for the moment. Their artillerymen are falling, so are horses. Not cool. Ah, damn it. Yeah, so yeah, the enemy eventually took a hit that part, but the general enemy was was defeated. So let's hope our men are gonna do the same thing. Of course, we can let the time go. I'm not sure if I should position some other troops like to go outside of the fort. I'm just gonna let time go. I'm not gonna risk any more units. There's still a lot of cavalry, so I'm just gonna be cautious here. I just want these troops to retreat, but I think we took the win. Let's wait to see, and we can call this a good battle. We're gonna have also to make some move on the map side, just because I'm not sure what the enemy is gonna be doing. This fort has been attacked almost like twice now under our control, but that's another story for the moment. I don't think this cavalry unit is gonna hold, and I'm not sure what's gonna happen on this side of the field. There's one. Yeah, they're retreating. They're moving one cavalry unit. I think it's retreating right now. I think they were chasing down our general. That's not cool, and our troops are gonna stay within our walls. I think it's just gonna be. I'm not sure what to do. We can hold inside our walls, and see what happens, or we can walk out and same deal. We can see what happens. I'm just gonna place everyone within the courtyard so that we can see what do we have, and if it's worth it to just come outside and see what goes on. But for the moment, I think it's pretty much a win for us. I'm not sure if there are some cannons hitting us right now. Yeah, one part of our fort is with some damage. 8%, 0%. Yeah, I think they only have one of these units, so I think it's gonna be quicker if we just jump outside. I'm not gonna risk any big units, so the armed citizens are gonna be the ones that are gonna go out here and walk. The rest of the army is just gonna stand still. There you go. Good luck to our citizens. I send them out because, of course, these are units that are like they do not count with like in the army roster of the game, so we're gonna be cool if we just move on from that point. But of course, if you were like in a 18th century war, of course you would have taken care of your citizens. Alright, I'm also, to protect them, I'm making them walk like in really long lines so that the cannons are not gonna be a problem for us. I think they do not have any ammunition, so they're just gonna have to charge straight at it. And we're of course receiving some damage. But now I hopefully can say that we're gonna be winning. I'm not sure. Let's try that again. We are pretty much 115 men. We defend this fort with everything we had, but we're gonna have to fix some things around if we don't want to be surprised again, and if we want to place some men on top of the walls. Alright, now I think we've got them. I'm not sure if they have any more cavalry. I don't see any more units. I think there's one here. What is this? Yeah. We completely missed them. It's incredible. Only like 6 guys survive. And our troops just went into retreat, so I'm not gonna risk it anymore. I'm just gonna wait for the clock to hit 0. But we did it. So I got new insights about these barricades. They are just like for intimidation, of course. They were not what I was expecting them to be. I thought the cavalry was gonna hit them and maybe just you know, as logically remove some units. At least they look really cool, you know. They look better than the Napoleon's Total War. I think that's better, but I'm just gonna let the clock goes out, man. So yeah, I'm expecting maybe we can have like three or four more additional battles, maybe. Usually per stream I have like, if I have one big, we might have two, but if we have two small, we can have at least three. And of course, as more people will join, this is going to be even better, because we all are going to be making some better decisions. We're going to be bringing some representations of battles that actually happened. So I trust that could be like a really interesting thing. I think one unit just came back from retreat, so I'm going to try to hit that back again. There's one unit coming back. Oh, those are the artillery men. Yeah, bad thing for us is that we lost every possibility of shooting out. So we're just gonna try. And of course, our armed citizens are not good, but artillerymen are not good as. Yeah, I think artillerymen are better than armed citizens. We can already see that. I love how they run. They look so funny. Okay, the clock is about to hit 0, and we're gonna be preparing for our next battle. And of course, the idea to send those armed citizens outside was to get like a better opportunity of ending this fight earlier. But as you saw, well, sometimes it's just better to, you know, keep it simple, keep it tight, and just wait inside the fortress. Alright, the clock is about to hit 0. I think less than maybe 20 seconds. And our men should be proud, because they defend everything they could with what they had. Probably next time I would send the infantry line. I think it's just not worth it to risk them. But anyways, we won. We defend once again this position, and we're gonna jump into the next one. So yeah, heroic victory. But hopefully our next movement is going to be more aggressive, more aimed towards attacking than waiting. So I believe that's going to be fun. Alright, we had an enemy raid and winter's over. We're in summer now. I think we just have winter and summer for this one. This is the fort that got attacked. We're gonna... Not sure if we can repair it. It says no repairs required. No, it was Albany. My bad. It still says no. How can I repair this? Infrastructure, we can build some roads. Okay, I'm not gonna stop too much in here. I think it's time for a big attack. We're just gonna have to select where. We already have Philadelphia. I think we can be aiming towards... I like this spot. It's New Haven. Or... I think, no, this is under attack. It's one settlement under our control. And it's been hit by the enemy. So we're gonna go outside of Boston and see how can we defend our land. I'm not sure if I should let one unit behind. I will. Let's try that. I hope this is working. Okay, so we send 1,000 men against more cavalry. I think this Empire Total War is like strangely unbalanced. But I think we can win and we can give some experience to our troops, so why not? I think my PC is sounding funny. Yeah, I don't know if that's its regular sound, but... Alright, let's go. Okay, so we're gonna have to fight. I'm not sure if this is dawn or sunset. Anyways, let's see what we have and how we can manage ourselves. So we got one unit of artillery. I think this one we cannot move it, so we're gonna have to be careful where we place it. We are south from Boston. I'm not sure if these cannons are gonna be worth using them. I think it's gonna be really hard because there's a lot of slopes and hills, and I don't see. Maybe, yeah. I think this spot's gonna be cool. I thought this was like an animal. It's just tree trunk. Okay. So I think this is a good view. Of course, I believe the infantry line is gonna be approaching from the center of the field. No, we have two cannons. We have two cannons, so we're gonna place them. There you go. I think this is the best spot, and I think we can just place them a bit. Yeah, this is the best spot because the cannonballs are not gonna bounce. They're gonna be bouncing on that red line. So we're gonna have to be really careful from that point. And now we're gonna be placing our infantry. So we're gonna extend our lines. Our cavalry, that's our general. We're gonna keep it. I believe it's better to protect our cannon, so I'm just gonna keep them. I'm not gonna use too much of our artillery, man. So I think we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and make our best. Of course. Like always, this is the moment. Our cannons are going to be hitting the enemy, already aiming at them. They have those trenches as well. Whoa. These trenches look really nice. I've never seen these ones. I stream a lot the Napoleon Total War, but these ones are really new to me. But they're really well located, so we're gonna need to be really cautious and move as quickly as we can because we're right on the line of those cannons, and we're gonna start losing a lot of men. I believe our best course of action, maybe it's gonna be approached from the east, maybe close to that church. If we go right through the center, we're gonna suffer a lot. There's one small it's like a slope. It might cover us, but we're just gonna have to start moving. guys, come on. I believe in you, you can do this. I'm gonna also bring my cavalry. I don't see the point on waiting here too much. Our cannons are gonna do their job. Hopefully nobody's gonna attack them, but we're gonna need to go quickly to the other part of the hill. There's a lot of cannons. I've never seen so much of this power. We're already being fired. These troops have like a really crazy range. Because they are rangers. That's why. Okay. I don't know if they're running. Sure. Maybe we're gonna take another route here. Okay, our troops are almost in position. Now we're gonna advance like everyone. Like we're gonna go really tight as we cannot form in squares. The best formations during this era, this period to form against cavalry was like being really tight in those columns. So that's how we're going to be operating. And of course, our general it's coming now from the rear line. All right, let's be careful. And one unit was just surprised. I'm gonna involve my cavalry just in front of the church. We're gonna have to be really quick. That church, our cavalry is coming on. We're just gonna hold the line. We're gonna have to be really cautious because they're also firing us from distance, so maybe this is just like a trap or something. We just came in just at time. Our units are already preparing, and while some will fight hand to hand, we're gonna be having some on the rear line also firing from that position. What happened to our cannons? I'm not sure if we were able to destroy cannons. Destroying cannons with cannons, it's almost an impossible mission, like really hard. Not something that you can do all, like every time. And we need to learn that formation of, you know, learning how to form in squares. I don't think that's that hard, but of course it required like a lot of training, you know, a lot of coordination. If walking in lines was hard enough, like creating a formation in square was like impossible or something. Alright, I have one unit being really tight in the center, but behind the church we have some others, and we're gonna have to be really careful with our cavalry because I'm not sure where they are. They're right here, okay. We're just gonna have to be ready and be really careful. My purpose is kind of getting to this spot here, right at the northwest section of the battlefield, and from this position just start walking on and attack the enemy from this spot. It might look like a better option. But of course, to do that, we're gonna have to advance every single soldier like tight and together. I think we're already in that position. One unit has fallen. Yeah, my general just died, and that's really sad because he was already in the forest. So I think this is just getting more complicated than it should. Okay, everyone. So let's just aim at this cavalry unit, and we're gonna have to take the long road. Of course, I mean, we could technically just attack straight to these cannons, but it would be just like a massacre. Like many men would fall against the British cannons, and I cannot allow that. Our cannons are pretty much useless against this position. I'm gonna aim for these horses at least. They're really well positioned because there's a slope. I don't think my cannons are gonna be having an easy task. We're gonna wait and see. The horses are like sliding. Okay, our men have just improved this section, so we're gonna start our walk. We're gonna position ourselves in that northwest side. yeah, the hardest part, I think we already achieved it. Like, I think it was simply getting to this slope. Of course, we could have formed. I believe our initial formation could have been applied almost here. I was just not expecting that amount of cannons. It was just crazy. But anyways, I'll take it. Of course, as I mentioned you before, if you have come up to this part, we're gonna be doing this campaign, and we're also gonna be doing like the representations of some battles. I have done a couple of them. One is Monmouth battle, and the other one I cannot remember. It was Fortress, Fort Mercer. Yeah, I have 2 videos on that. So, of course, we're gonna be representing like the battles and maybe how to strategize and how, you know, the art military history was applied within the battlefield in these periods. But of course, we're also gonna do the same thing, but, you know, telling the stories that really happened. So I think that's also gonna be cool. I'm not sure what happened with the enemy cavalry. I think they're just gonna try to hit us from the back. So I'm gonna leave 1 unit behind. And we're gonna protect. So yeah, yeah, watch out, man. This is not over. I think we're more, but let's be cautious. Let's be cautious. I think we're almost ready. There's more cavalry. I'm not sure if there's any more units. I'm gonna zoom in to the map. Yep, there's another. Yeah, the Rangers unit, correct. Not sure if my cannons are aiming towards this position. Not sure if I have that range. But after this, I pretty much believe we're ready. Yeah, the cavalry unit, I think it's running away. So I think it's time. Of course, we're gonna have to be really careful because our cannon lines are also passing really close to where we are. So we're just gonna try to hit the. I believe this is the general unit. There's a lot of. I'm gonna have to take a look at the settings because it seems like the AI is not generating enough infantry units. Most of it's cavalry. Alright, so we're gonna do one last charge. It's incredible how these troops are always annoying me. So the troops that are already in position, we're gonna start walking. The ones that are at the rear line, we're just gonna have to wait and see if they can defend against that cavalry and those rangers as well. But we already can see the cannons. Colonies, the Continental Army is gonna make its move. So let's be ready for that. Alright, let's prepare. I'm gonna leave a couple units behind just to take care of those ranger units. They're still hiding, but the mission's gonna be completed. And I think it's time to start running up. Already under position. I'm gonna create like an L form, 90-degree angle, but we're starting shooting. Rangers. We're gonna be doing almost the same strategy here. I think it's just better to charge. For the moment, we're just holding up the line. Right, great, let's try this. Hold on. Once we finish with this cavalry, we're gonna make a charge. I think that's gonna be more than enough. Now let's be careful. The Rangers are moving towards the center of the field, so we're gonna have to prepare one of these units. I'm not sure if they are out of ammunition, so I'm not gonna wait for them. Okay, the enemy general has been defeated. And now I think it's time to make our move. Alright, so let's prepare. We're gonna be moving towards the rear line of those cannons. I think the Rangers were neutralized as well, so we're just gonna have to start walking. Come on, people. Let's go, let's go. There you go. Alright, and once again, we're gonna be attacking from the rear line. It was a really long journey. Not sure if maybe from this spot would have been easier. Maybe. But we were really bad position. The same deal. We would have lost many units, and at least here we have some houses that we're able to hold those cannons while we pass. And same here, we got better coverage against the cavalry. So yeah, I think it's time. Let's charge, man. Let's do our job. Let's do what we have to do. So we're just gonna be moving on. Really good. I think this section's covered. We're only missing a couple of units. Checking if these are the only ones that we have. We're gonna need to be really careful with our cannon fire, so I'm gonna aim towards other spot. Alright, I think we did it. I think there's one cavalry unit still somewhere here, but great. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna prepare myself just in case the enemy comes back. Alright, so great job everyone. We're gonna honor every man who fell in this war, British or American. There's always room for remembering and honoring.